Everybody should know about coelom. So what I'll do, so let's say you have a condition like this where you have the digestive cavity. Right outside of it, you have the endoderm. Then you have a mesoderm. And finally, an ectoderm. Okay. So you have three regions here. You have a digestive cavity. So this is an empty space. Outside of it, you have an endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. In this case, there's no special body cavity or coelom. So these kind of animals, will be calling them as acoelomates. Meaning that the coelom is absent. For examples, you must have read about flatworms. They're acoelomates. Coelom is basically a body cavity, an empty space. Here in flatworms, they do not have a coelom, so there is no empty body cavity. It's just endoderm, mesoderm, ectoderm, one after the other. Then there are certain organisms that are pseudocoelomates. For them, arrangement is something like this. So let's say this is the innermost. So I'm just writing it with D. This is the digestive cavity on the inside. Then you have the endoderm. Right outside the endoderm, you have a body cavity. This I'm calling as pseudocoelom. Then after the pseudocoelom, you have mesoderm. And outside of mesoderm, you have the ectoderm. So this is the body arrangement. Basically here, there is a pseudocoelom form. अब इस वाली cavity को हम pseudocoelom क्यों कह रहे हैं? क्योंकि for a coelom to be a true coelom, it should have mesoderm on its both sides. Okay? So basically, a coelom is what? It's a body cavity which is formed by splitting of mesoderm. So here, this space, pseudocoelom, because now here it is present in between mesoderm and endoderm. It's actually not a part of mesoderm. So that is why we are calling it as pseudocoelom. And this is found in roundworms. And for a true coelom, you'll have structure something like this. So you'll have an outside ectoderm. Then on the inside, you'll have a mesoderm. Yeah. Then you have an endoderm. This is meso, endo, and this is the digestive. And in the mesoderm, you'll have space like this, a cavity. Like this, which we are going to call as a true coelom. Okay? So it's basically the splitting of mesoderm. The coelom, true coelom is mesodermal in origin, and it has mesoderm on this side, on the inner side, as well as on the outer side. Okay? So it's basically splitting from the mesoderm. Echinoderms, जिनके बारे में हम आज बात करने वाले हैं, they are true coelomates. They are, and they have a eucoelom. So we'll talk about that as well. There are two types of true coeloms now. Schizocoelom and eucoelom. And the organisms that have these kind of coeloms will be called as schizocoelomate and eucoelomate. Now, how are these two different? First, let's jot down some examples. So you find schizocoelom in annelids as well as in arthropoda and in molluscans as well. Eucoelomates are echinodermata, and chordates. Okay. Now let's understand the difference between the two. So let's have a look at this particular diagram. Now here you can see that in schizocoelom, it is splitting of the mesoderm. So in schizocoelom, the mesoderm is splitting and forming a coelom. While in enterocoelous or eucoelomates, sorry, just a second. In enterocoelomates or eucoelomates, you have this gut which is separating. So the coelom is separating out from the gut pouches. Okay, here it is separating out from the pouch of gut. Just take a moment and try and understand this thing, and then we'll start with the echinodermata. Okay. Acha, one more thing. Sometimes people call these schizocoelom and enterocoelom, both of them as eucoelomates. Okay. So in some books, you'll also find कि eucoelomate जो है उसमें true coelom के लिए बोल रहे हैं. And then they are saying that there are two types, schizo and entero. But ideally, the enterocoelom is a true coelom, is like a is the advanced form, and that is why I'm referring it to as eucoelomate. Okay. So sometimes you'll find that he इसी को eucoelomate बोल देता है. ठीक है. So don't get confused. Just take a note that we are enterocoelous are actually the ones that are eucoelomates.